The Kiss That Missed by David Melling.
It's her fault.
The Kiss That Missed. Obviously, we missed that part. Alright, you ready? Once upon a Tuesday, the king was in a hurry, as usual. Good night, he says, and he blew his son a royal kiss. Mwah!
It missed.
The young prince watched it rattle around the room, then bounce out the window into the night. The prince told the queen, and the queen told the king, and the king had a quick word with his royal knight. "Follow that kiss," he squawked. The knight mounted his horse. Eventually he got it right and galloped up in hot pursuit until they came into the wild woods. Wild creatures with wild eyes, too much hair, and very bad manners lived there. You lived there.
No, I'm pretty sure it's you.
I'm not that bad. Okay.
She says.
It was dark. It was smelly. It was
Snowing Dandruff.
just snowing.
Dandruff.
They were not alone. There were bears with long claws and growly roars, swooping owls of all shapes and sizes, and a pack of hungry wolves with dribbly mouths. Eek! Squawked the knight, and then suddenly,
With a sparkle, the royal kiss came floating by, and in turn said goodnight to everyone. What in the
bears
world?
stopped being growly, owls stopped being swooshy, wolves stopped being dribbly, and before you could say, "Follow that kiss," they all settled down for a good night's sleep. After a while, they sat down on a wrinkly old tree trunk to rest. The wrinkly old tree trunk twitched and rose into the air, above the woods and into the clouds. At last, they had found themselves staring into a pair of very hairy nostrils. Have you ever looked at somebody's hairy nostrils? Well, a dragon with this pair would be nice on toast. Eyes leered greedily at them.
Suddenly,
With a sparkle, the royal kiss came floating by and flew right into the dragon's nose. He sat up and sniffed and blinked. Slowly, he opened his mouth, took a deep breath, and hush! He sneezed.
Corona.
"Hang on," he said, and they tumbled through the trees. "Come back," he puffed, and he lumbered after them. "I want to pick you up and..."
You too. Kiss you goodnight.
Aw, such a sweet dragon. Slowly, they all made their way back to the castle. It should be morning by now.
Yeah.
The night, the prince was happy. The queen was happy. And the king promised to stop being in such a big hurry. He made sure everyone was comfortable and slowly read them a bedtime story from beginning to end.
Almost.
Well, almost. He fell asleep. How many times have your parents fallen asleep by telling you a story? Pretty sure that would be us, falling asleep. And not only do we fall asleep during the story, but so do they. Anyways, The Kiss That Missed.
The Paperback Princess by Robert Munsch. Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. And she was going to marry a prince named Ronald. Oh, so exciting. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burned all her clothes with his fiery breath, and and carried off Prince Ronald. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find that was not burnt was a paper bag. So she put on the paper bag and followed the dragon. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of burnt forest and horses' bones. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door, large enough for a dragon, and it had a huge knocker on it. She took hold of the knocker and bang, bang, banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out the door and said, "Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten an entire castle today. I'm a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." And he slammed the door so hard that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught in it. Elizabeth grabbed the knocker and bang, bang, banged on the door again. The dragon stuck his nose out the door and said, "Go away. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I'm a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." "Wait!" shouted Elizabeth. "Is it true that you are the smartest and fiercest dragon in the whole world?" "Why, yes," said the dragon. "Is it true," asked Elizabeth, "that you can burn up 10 forests with your fiery breath?" "Oh, yes," said the dragon, and he took a huge, deep breath, and he breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 50 forests. "Oh, fantastic," said Elizabeth, and the dragon took another huge, deep breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 100 forests. "Magnificent," said Elizabeth, and the dragon took another huge breath. But this time, nothing came out. He didn't even have enough fire left to cook a meatball, let alone a marshmallow, which I love marshmallows. Elizabeth said, "Why, dragon, is it true that you can fly all the way around the world in just 10 seconds?" "Why, yes," said the dragon, and he jumped up and flew all the way around the world in just 10 seconds. He was very tired when he got back, but Elizabeth shouted, "Oh, fantastic! Do it again." So the dragon jumped up and flew all the way around the world in 20 seconds. When he got back, he was too tired to talk, and he lay down and went straight to sleep. "Oh dear, poor dragon." Elizabeth whispered very softly, "Hey, dragon." She lifted up the dragon's ear and put her head right inside and shouted as loud as she could, "Hey, dragon!" The dragon was so tired he didn't even move. Elizabeth walked right over the dragon and opened the door to the cave, and there was Prince Ronald. He looked at her and said, "Elizabeth, you are a mess. You smell like ashes and your hair is all messy and tangled and you're wearing a dirty paper bag. Oh, come back when you look like a real princess." "Ronald," Elizabeth said, "your clothes are really pretty and your hair is very neat. You look like a real prince, but you are a bum, and they didn't get married after all." So in reality, the dragon did her a very big favor. The end.
Hi everyone, we're back to the crafts and we are doing our princess theme, and every prince and princess is usually identified by their crown. So that is what we are going to be making this craft time. So in your bag that you got from Mrs. Lehman, we have a crown and 2 pieces of paper. Okay, So what we're going to do is we're going to take the big crown part, and we're going to take any markers or crayons or glitter like I have, and we're going to decorate our crown. I love glitter. So I'm just going to make my diamond glittery and so pretty. Because glitter makes everything better. AJ would disagree because he's a guy. He doesn't think it does. But it does because it helps cover up some of the mistakes you make.
And she makes lots of them.
I do make lots of mistakes. But we learn from each new mistake that we make, and it makes us better people. So, can't complain about that. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, let's see. I'm going to choose this blue. Fill in my little dots. You can choose whatever colors you want. No. Come on. Give her all she's got. Alright. And I'm gonna write... Oh no. It will let me. Oh no. I think I'm gonna do a pink. I like pink. Hopefully there's enough. Ah! Oh well, I can make this work. Alright. We can fix this. Oh, no, that made it worse. Oh well. Even mistakes are pretty. See? Alright, all decorated. Now, I am going to take the 2 strips of paper and a stapler. And we're going to take the crown and put the strip of paper behind the pretty crown because we want to see the pretty pictures you all make. And we're going to put a staple in it so that it's attached. I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece on the other side. And if you need help, go ahead and ask your mommies or daddies. Okay, and then we're going to take the crown, and you can do it front ways, but, oh, okay,
I'm gonna help.
Mrs. Lehman's going to help me. We're going to measure our head size, because everybody's head is a different size.
How does that feel?
Perfect. So then, we have our measurements. We're going to take the staples and staple it on the back so that we can wear our pretty crowns.
Hello there! Welcome, lords and ladies, squires and servants, to the Eddoroston Knights of the Library Table. We have gathered here today to provide you with some jokes, some humor, as you would, some knightly humor.
Where did you get the jokes?
I wouldn't worry about that.
Oh boy.
Don't worry about that.
Be worried.
Just be ready to laugh. A lot. Who was the roundest knight at King Arthur's table?
You?
No,
Oh,
circumference.
math. My worst nemesis.
Why were the medieval times called the Dark Ages?
I mean, you lived in them, so...
No,
Oh. Was I close?
no.
Oh.
There were a lot of knights.
Oh.
So many knights. What is the easiest way to find a princess?
Call out her name and tell her to let down her hair.
I think
And
I've
then
heard that one before.
Yes.
No.
You also
You
gotta
follow
chase
the
after the stepmother.
footprints.
Oh,
Footprints.
wow. I was close.
Why do dragons sleep during the day?
Because they're big and cumbersome. They use a lot of energy.
Oh,
Oh.
speaking of dragons, must hide soon from flying around. Dragons sleep during the day because they fight knights.
Wow.
Who is strong enough to move a castle?
Not you?
Sure. But chess players.
Still have
What do knights do in the morning?
Eat?
They wake up.
Oh.
Which medieval king wrote books?
An old one.
King Arthur.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Why did the king have such a round table?
So he could spin it around and get food easier?
It's a good idea, but no.
Oh.
Not be cornered.
Man, what's with these horrible ideas?
Which day of the week do dragons eat the most nights?
I honestly have no clue.
Tuesday.
Wow.
Why did King Arthur go to the dentist?
Because he had a dental carie?
No. To put crowns on his teeth.
Did the king provide these jokes?
Yes, he did. How could you tell?
Wow. No
Yes,
idea.
but my personal favorite. Which knight of the Round Table was the hottest?
Not you.
It's mean. Sriracha.
See, this is why I'm mean.
Sriracha!
Wow.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. And that concludes our time for jokes. Please, if you have any, send us more. And maybe we might tell them. Who knows? Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you'll join us again.
What are you doing up there?
Well, you know how Mom's summer reading is about princesses and
Yes.
and castles?
Uh-huh.
Well, it got me thinking about the story of the Princess and the Pea.
Hold on. How did you get on that and not something like Rapunzel, Cinderella, Aurora?
Well, I don't have any magical fairies. I don't have glass slippers or evil stepsisters. And I don't have a tower or really long hair with like Rapunzel.
Extensions.
That's not feasible. So I decided that I would try the bookcases here at the library to feel the 20 mattresses that the princess slept on. I wanted it for the height, you know? Couldn't find anything higher.
20 mattresses is much higher than that.
This is the closest I could get.
Should have gone and laid on top of the grain silos then.
That's higher than 20 mattresses.
Same
Besides,
feeling.
this is less dangerous.
Oh, okay.
So, because, you know, she could feel the pee at the bottom of 20 mattresses. I just can't fathom that. I think I would fall asleep. Or fall off the 20 mattresses.
I will never understand you.
Alright, see you later.
So, today we are going to read two stories. The first one is Believe Me, I Never Felt a Pea. And the second one is called A Brave Young Knight. I'm kind of excited about the second one. This first one looks awesome. So, here we go. Can you keep a secret? I mean a real lip-sealed and throw away the key secret. You can? Okay, good. Here goes. I'm not a real princess. Shh. Yes, I slept on a tack of 20 mattresses. Yes, it was the worst night's sleep I've ever had. And yes, I did marry Prince Matthew. But there's a lot more to the story than that. The first thing you should know is that Prince Matthew, Matt, wasn't all that interested in getting married. His dream, to be a successful businessman. He came up with one crazy idea after another, creating self-cleaning, horse-drawn carriages. Oh, turning the royal castle into a hotel, opening a restaurant that served only purple food. But the queen didn't want her son to go into business. She thought if he were married to a spoiled, pampered girl, a real princess, in other words, he wouldn't have time for his silly dreams. She traveled all over, testing princesses to make sure they were the real thing, but none met with her approval. One princess politely ate tough steak rather than demanding a tender piece. Fail. Another princess carried her own luggage. Fail. Several princesses wore the same gown 2 days in a row. Fail. This is where I come in, and my dog. His name is Prince Super Pooch, or Prince S for short. Isn't that cute? One night, Prince S and I went for a walk in the woods. Suddenly, crack, boom, flash! A storm came up. We needed shelter, and I knew the castle was nearby. I picked up Prince S and made a run for it. A maid opened the door. "Hi," I gasped. "I'm Starla, and this is Prince S. Could we please spend the night?" "Ah, another princess," the maid muttered in an unfriendly way. "Follow me." "No, I'm not a princess. Prince S is the name of my dog," I tried to explain, but she didn't pay any attention. Maybe she couldn't hear me because of the thunder. The maid showed me to a bedroom, and my jaw dropped. There stood a towering stack of mattresses. "Excuse me," I said, "but I don't need anything so fancy. Really, just throw a sleeping bag on the floor and I'm good." The maid sniffed rudely and left. I carefully counted the mattresses, 20 in all. Prince S pawed at the bottom mattress, like he does when there's a crumb under the stove he can't reach. "Stop that," I said. "We're guests here. Be good." The bed was super soft and very comfortable. The sheets were as smooth as silk and smelled like a flower garden. I soon fell asleep, but not for long. I must have rolled over a little too far because the next thing I know, thwack! I hit the floor. Hard. Beds like that should come with guardrails, maybe even parachutes. I climbed back up the ladder and spent the rest of the night staring at the ceiling. I was too scared to move. The next morning, I was tired and cranky. "I hardly slept a wink," I said. "See these bruises? I can't wait to go home and sleep in a real bed." The maid stared at me for a moment. Then her face lit up. "Your Majesty! Your Majesty!" she shouted as she ran down the hallway. "This girl is a real princess. She complained about the pee." So that's what Prince S was trying to get at beneath all those mattresses. A pee. That ridiculous bed was a test. Again, Prince S is the name of my dog, I called after her. I didn't say anything about a pee. But you know how fairy tale weddings go. There's no stopping them. Beautiful gowns appear, the castle glitters and gleams, music fills the air, crowds gather, and suddenly there I was, married to a prince. Luckily, Matt and I love each other, and married life hasn't caused him to give up his dreams. In fact, we're business partners. We've been very successful, selling mattresses. Oh, there's a little note. Say yes to the best. A princess mattress. Have royal night's rest on a princess mattress. That's so cute. The end. And I think that was a happy ending, even though she wasn't a princess.
Back to craft time, and for this craft, you will need glue stick. You can use liquid glue. You are also going to need some crayons or markers. I have crayons today, so that's what we'll be doing. Inside your princess packet, there is a sheet of paper just like this without these strips on it. And there's an envelope which contains all of these strips. There should be 6 total. Now I've already done some of this, so I'm going to demonstrate how to finish it. You will take your piece of glue stick, take your strip of paper, put glue on the back of the paper, and place it under the princess because it is a mattress. So we're going to do this again. Glue on the back of the piece of paper and then put it on the bed. Alright, now that I have my paper done, and the cap back on my glue. I'm going to use my crayons. Now you can use whatever you like to color with, because it's your craft, but I like crayons. So I'm going to color the mattress a purple. And I'm going to color the pea green because it's a pea. They're all green. I'm going to use some brown for the bed, but you can use whatever color because, you know, she's a princess. Princesses are usually rich, so they can have gold beds, silver beds. I like brown beds. I don't know why. I just think it's a brown bed kind of princess. Alright, sorry my brother's laughing at me. He thinks I'm hilarious. I'm going to color the blanket. And her nightgown's gonna match the blanket because why not? Actually, because Miss Ashley accidentally colored outside the lines. That's why. Okay. And there we have our Princess and the Pea craft. And we'll see you for the next craft.
Hi. We're going to make another craft, and you'll find all the pieces in the yellow envelope in your bag. And AJ and Sam's jokes made me think of Rapunzel. And so we're going to do a Rapunzel craft. And you'll need to take and make her tower and put a turret on the top. And you'll need some glue. And then we're going to put a window on there for her to stick out. And here is her sweet little face. See? She has little eyes. You can put a lovely little smile on there, or maybe she's sad today. But the fun part
Because she's
is,
a kidnapped princess?
yes, here is her hair. And so you can leave it long or you can braid it, however you want to do it. I don't know if I can braid it like this. Could I? Maybe? Anyway, so you can choose, and then you add her hair behind, and you can trim off the excess, like I would possibly do that. And 1, 2, 3 stuck to my finger. And now you have your princess in the tower.
Hello again, and now we're ready to read the second one, Brave Young Knight, the one I am super excited about. So, here we are at the beginning. Show me your ways, O Lord, teach me your paths. Guide me in your truth and teach me, for you are God my Savior, and my hope is in you all day long. Psalm 25, verses 4 and 5. There once was a young knight who lived in a village on the west side of the kingdom. In the busy streets and cozy houses of the village, everyone knew the young knight. He could run like the wind, carry a dog under each arm, and solve the toughest puzzles. When the young knight passed by, people smiled and said, "Someday that knight will be named the best and bravest in the kingdom, and the West Village will be honored." One time, the young knight of the West Village saw a woman carrying a load of bricks. The young knight hurried to her side. "Ma'am," he said, "may I carry your bricks?" Every day after that, the young knight met the woman at the brickyard and carried her bag of bricks until her house was built. Another time, the bridge over the river washed away. The men in the West Village puzzled over how much wood they would need to build a new bridge, but the young knight came up with a plan. The men did as the knight said, and sure enough, they figured out exactly how many logs were needed to build a bridge across the river. But the young knight of the West Village was more than blazing fast, fiercely strong, and deeply intelligent. He was also kind. Once when the children were out playing, the young knight noticed a boy whose legs hadn't worked since he was born. "Boy," the knight said, "I can be your legs." He put the boy on his shoulders and ran in circles and great arcs, and the wind whipped through the boy's hair, and they both laughed and laughed. The young knight was kind that way. Now, the kingdom was made up of 4 villages: the West Village, the East Village, the North Village, and the South Village. The king announced that the bravest knight of the kingdom would be named Prince, and everyone hoped a knight from their village would be chosen. A knight from the East Village was said to be so fast he could outrun a horse. When the young knight from the West Village heard about this, he practiced his running over and over again. I'm trying, he told his father, but I'm not sure if I'm the fastest knight in the land. His father smiled. My son, the bravest knight is not always the fastest. Follow God and he will help you run the race. Word traveled around the kingdom that a knight from the south village was said to be so strong he could carry a horse under each arm. When the young knight from the west village heard about this, he practiced lifting 3 dogs, then 4 dogs, then 5, but he could never manage to lift his horse. I'm trying, he told his father, but I'm not sure if I'm the strongest knight in the land. Again, his father smiled. My son, the bravest knight is not always the strongest. Faith in God will give you the strength you need. News made it through the kingdom that a knight from the north village was said to be so smart he could solve puzzles the village teachers couldn't solve. When the young knight from the west village heard this, he solved every puzzle he could find. But he was never summoned by the village teachers to solve anything for them. I'm trying, he told his father, but I'm not sure if I'm the smartest knight in the land. His father smiled one more time. My son, the bravest knight is not always the smartest. Ask God and he will give you great wisdom. Soon the king called these 4 knights together. I will stage a competition, the king said. Bravery means many things. You will be tested in speed, strength, and intelligence. At the end of the competition, I will determine which of you is the bravest, the one who will be named Prince of the Kingdom. The first competition tested their speed. The king lined up all 4 knights at the entrance to the great and mighty forest. Follow the course through the forest until you reach the finish line at the other end, he said. A few minutes into the race, the knight from the east village shouted to the others, I know a shortcut. Never mind the course marked out for us. He made a turn off the path and waved to the others, follow me. And the knights from the south and north villages did just that. But the young knight from the west village stayed the course and crossed the finish line long after the other 3 knights. The second competition tested their strength. The king said, in the lumberyard, find the biggest log you can carry from those I've set aside for you and bring it back to me. When they reached the lumberyard, the knight from the south village pointed to a different pile of logs. Some of these are hollow, he said. We can carry much bigger logs if they are hollow. He nodded at the others. Come on, he said, follow me. And the knights from the east and north villages did just that. But the young knight from the west village found a medium-sized log from among those the king had set aside. When he brought it back to the king, his was the smallest of all the logs, but it was solid. The final competition tested intelligence. The king handed each of the knights a treasure map marked with different puzzles. You must solve each puzzle along the way, the king told them. Find your treasure and bring it to me. When they'd each solved a few puzzles, the knight from the north village saw that the king was not around. I know a man in town, he said, who can give puzzle answers, 10 for $1. This is your chance, he said as he began to run toward town. Follow me. And the knights from the east and south villages did just that. But the young knight from the west village sat on a rock and figured out the puzzles, one at a time as the king directed. When he finally found his treasure and brought it to the king, the treasures from the other 3 knights were already lined up near the throne. Tallies were made by the king and scores were analyzed. The knight from the east village was fastest, the knight from the south village was strongest, and the knight from the north village was smartest. The young knight from the west village thought he would never be named prince of the kingdom. The young knight saw his father in the crowd. His father smiled at him, and the young knight knew even if he didn't win the competition, his father loved him. I have decided on a winner, the king announced, and the people of the kingdom gathered around to hear. The king looked at the knight from the east village. You cheated by running off the course. You cannot be prince of the kingdom. Next, the king turned to the knight from the south village. You stole a hollow log from another pile of lumber. You cannot be prince of the kingdom. Then the king spoke to the knight from the north village. You lied about solving the puzzles, so you cannot be prince of the kingdom. At last, the king spoke to the knight from the west village. Well done. You were honest and finished the tasks as you were asked. You did not cheat, so you are the bravest knight of all. So the brave young knight of the west village became prince and, with God's help, ruled the kingdom with character, kindness, and truth. Because of the brave young knight, The kingdom became the strongest in the land, and the people of the West Village were honored, and they lived happily ever after. The end. And look at the happy face.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Craft Time for Summer Reading. This week's theme is castles. During the time of castles, knights, kings, princesses, and all that jazz, they had these really cool machines called catapults, and that is what we will be making today. Now, some of you will have ping pong balls, at least one ping pong ball, or a poof. We will have in your bag 2 tongue depressors. Those are the bigger things than popsicle sticks, so that you can stick your tongue on them. Don't stick them in your mouth. You don't know where they've been. And a spoon, plastic, and at least 5 rubber bands. Also, in your baggie is at least 6 popsicle sticks tied rubber band together. Okay, so the first step to making our very awesomest catapult is you take 1 tongue depressor, 1 spoon, and we're gonna rubber band the spoon to the tongue depressor. Now you can put your spoon over the tongue depressor if you'd like. I'm afraid I'd break my spoon, so I'm gonna put it with the tongue depressor. Make sure it's on it. Well, maybe that way, with my hand out of the way. Alright, now we're gonna rubber band. Now when you rubber band, you just twist and then go on again. Okay. So then next, we're gonna take the other tongue depressor and line it up together. And then, at the bottom of the spoon and the tongue depressor, we're gonna tie those together. And you'll see why in a moment. Alright, so what's going to happen is you're going to create a space in between your tongue depressors, and you're going to take the 6 pieces tied together of popsicle sticks, we're going to push it down till it won't go anymore. Okay. You might have to put your finger in the popsicle in between to push it down. You're going to take your rubber band, and you're going to go at an angle, almost like you're going to make an X. You're going to twist it and keep going over that one side. Just crisscrossing it, I guess. We're going to take the other rubber band and do the same to the other side. I should put it this way. It's less of a hassle. Alright. Come on, make it over. Don't break, don't break. Okay. We also have 1 extra one.
Just in case.
Just in case it breaks, or if you're afraid, just put it on. Make sure it's tight. So forth. Alright. Now we have our contraption.
All right, there's the castle now. Three, two, go ahead. Woohoo! The castle falls.
Demonstration of our craft. Look at our catapulting skills. I do not have any skill, so let's hope I actually make it this time. 3, 2, 1. Oh!
Dear Cinderella, narrated by Lauren Schaefer and Rebecca McMahon.
Dear Cinderella, I am so happy that we are going to be pen pals. I live in a great big castle with my mean stepmother, the queen. Even though I am a princess, she makes me work all the time. All I do is scrub the floors, wash the windows, and clean all day. I wish I lived in some faraway place where dreams come true. I hope things are better for you. Right back soon, Snow White.
Dear Snow White, your letter made my day. Sorry to hear about your wicked stepmother. I know how you feel. I live with my stepmother and my 2 stepsisters who always have work for me to do. I don't mind working in the garden, feeding the animals, and cooking the meals. Singing and dancing when you are scrubbing, washing, and cleaning make the chores seem like fun. La 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 la, Cinderella.
Dear Cinderella, I have been singing and dancing ever since I read your letter. My stepmother is horrible to me, but I am hopeful that one day things will change. I like to dream about Prince Charming riding up on his white horse and taking me away from my chores, and most of all, from my wicked stepmother. We'd go far away to his castle and we'd live happily ever after. What's going on with you? Your friend, Snow.
Dear Snow, today is the best day ever. My stepmother said I could go to the prince's ball. I am so excited. I can't stop singing. Before I can go, I have to finish my chores, make dresses for my stepsisters, and make my own dress with the leftover scraps. I should get started with sewing and polishing, and oh me, oh my, lots to do. I wish you could see my spinning around and around in excitement. I am going to the ball. I feel like the luckiest girl in the whole kingdom. Love you lots, Cinderella.
Dear Cinderella, I am so happy for you. What will your dress look like? The ball is going to be so much fun. I wish there was a prince in my kingdom so I could go to a ball. Instead, I have my stepmother who spends her day talking to a magic mirror on her wall. She always asks the same question. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who in this land is fairest of all? And she always gets the same answer. You, my queen, and are fairest of all. I hope you have a magical evening. Best, Snow. P.S. Tomorrow my stepmother is sending me with the castle huntsman to spend the day in the woods. I won't have to do chores. Yippee!
Dear Snow, oh my! I have spent the entire day getting my stepsisters ready for the ball, and now they have gone without me. I am just starting on my dress, and I wonder if I will ever finish. I am still hopeful that I can go. I am going to sing and sew until I'm done. Love, Cinderella. P.S. I'll write more later. Wait, something odd is happening here.
Dear Cinderella, I hope you made it to the ball. You're not going to believe what happened to me. Do you remember how I said in my letter that the huntsman was taking me to the woods? Well, he told me my stepmother had ordered him to get rid of me. He told me not to go back to the castle, so I ran into the woods to escape. I found a cute cottage, and the sweet little man who lives there invited me to stay and be safe. I will write more soon. Yours, Snow. P.S. I hear lots of noise upstairs.
Dear Snow, I am so happy that you escaped from the wicked queen. When I was getting ready for the ball, my very own fairy godmother appeared, and with a wave of her wand, she turned a pumpkin into a magnificent coach and little mice into horses. She turned my raggedy dress into the most beautiful gown ever, with sparkly glass slippers. The last thing she told me was to make sure I got home before midnight. I went to the ball, and I even danced with the prince. Oh, Snow, he was so dreamy. When the clock struck 12, I ran as fast as I could down the palace stairs, and I lost one of my pretty glass slippers. But I got home just in time, and my stepmother didn't even know I had been at the ball. With a smile, Cinderella.
Dear Cinderella, I can't believe you danced with the prince and you have a special fairy godmother. What color was your dress? Will you see the prince again? It turns out that I am staying with 7 dwarfs. Can you believe it? They have been very kind to me. They are a bit messy, but I don't mind cleaning up after them. I love cooking for everyone and eating our meals together. I even made friends with the animals in the woods. I am so happy for the both of us. Best friends forever, Snow. P.S. Did you find your glass slipper? It sounds so pretty.
Dear Snow, my dress was pink and sparkly. I twirled and spun around all night.
Your new home sounds so nice, and I'm glad you are finally safe and away from your stepmother. You won't believe this, but the prince is searching every house in the kingdom. He is looking for the girl who lost her glass slipper. That's me! What am I going to do? I am busy making new dresses for my stepsisters to wear when the prince arrives. I wonder if he will recognize me. Love you lots, Cinderella. Dear Snow, is everything all right? I have not heard back from you. Please let me know that everything is okay. I love getting your letters, and I'm starting to get worried. Concerned, Cinderella.
Dear Cinderella, we have heard so much about you from Snow White that we had to tell you what has happened. On our way home from work, we saw an old woman walking away from the cottage. We think it was the wicked queen in disguise. Snow was asleep on the floor and she had bitten into an apple. We have tried everything we can, but we cannot wake her up. We wanted to let you know why she has not replied to your recent letters. We hope to write to you soon with better news. Sincerely, the Seven Dwarfs. Dear Cinderella, you must have been so worried. The most awful thing happened. The apple I took a bite of had a sleeping spell, and it could only be broken by a special kiss. But then, the most wonderful thing happened. A prince had heard of a sleeping princess in the woods, and he came to rescue me. Once he gave me a kiss, the spell was broken. I hugged all 7 dwarfs goodbye, and we promised to stay in touch. My prince and I rode away on his white horse to his faraway kingdom, and I will never have to see my wicked stepmother again. I am so happy. Dreams do come true. Love, Snow.
Dear Snow, your prince has come, and so has mine. I am twirling around and around. I'm so glad you are okay. The prince arrived at our home. After my stepsisters tried to fit their big feet into the glass slipper, the prince asked if there was anyone else in the house. My stepmother had locked me in my room. Luckily, the prince heard my footsteps upstairs. He tried the glass slipper on my foot, and it fit. Magically, my rags turned back into the beautiful pink gown. He swept me away on his horse. I'm so happy. You're right. Dreams really do come true. Love, Cinderella.
You are invited to the wedding of Snow White and Prince Charming, and Cinderella and her prince at the royal palace.
And we
They
lived
lived happily ever after.